deeper. Ooh, temperature's evil, so I to deceive you. The love isn't equal. Take the key and lock my heart away. Tie me down, but you're running out of space. Drowning even if you're tied away. And nothing I could say to make you stay.
STN Racing proudly presents the Highline Racing League HighPoint.com Premier Series. Tonight, specially rebranded STN exclusive Highline Racing League Demolition Derby Series because we're at Bristol. If you've seen any of the races at Bristol so far in the last week, you kind of know where I'm going with this. We're in for an interesting night nonetheless. Jacob Pitts, Joey Tavin here with you for the call. Zach Johnson, our producer, as always. And, well, we got heats tonight. Since we are at a short track, again, they run the ARCA cars every week. They literally spin a wheel to determine what track we're going to. We had the misfortune of landing on Bristol this week, but the good news is we get it out of the way early, and we don't have to come back again. Okay, so qualifying is going on right now. Last week's winner, James McKee, has not gone out onto the racetrack yet. Pole sitter right now is Adam Bossigan, the 27 car. Joey, are you awake over there? They haven't wrecked yet. Come on now.
Yeah, they haven't wrecked yet, unfortunately. We are watching qualifying right now. The number 33 is out on track right now. Tyler Snyder ripping the high line there, almost getting into the wall. All the way around. Come on, Tyler. We're seeing times between 14.9 and 15.5. Tyler hits a 15.19 down at the bottom third of the field, but he's got another lap. He's actually got just another lap. It's only 2 laps. I thought it was 4 laps, and maybe Tyler Snyder did too, but there goes his second lap, and he doesn't improve at all. Well, actually, he does by a 10th, but that's not much.
We are not at Indianapolis. This is not a 4-lap average. This is, you get what you get, and that's that. We are a minute 30 seconds away from the first heat. Last week's winner, James McKee, is now out onto the racetrack doing his lap times right now. And, of course, he won last week because the 2 leaders crashed on the last corner of the last lap to get McKee to victory lane. And there's no better place to go from wrecking the leaders on the last lap to Bristol, where it's almost, like, definite that it's going to happen. Kind of like the big wreck off of 4 when you're coming to the flag at Daytona and Talladega. It's kind of guaranteed that somebody's going to get angry at the end of the night here at Bristol.
14.999 or 15.000 if we're rounding up. James McKee brings it home in whatever position that is, 11th, pretty much dead in the middle of the field. So he's going to want to go 2 in a row. He's got some work to do, but something tells me that the 10 cars in front of him might run into a little bit of trouble, and he won't be out of it just yet down there.
30 seconds left here in qualifying before we get to the heats. The heats, we have 2 of them. They're 50 laps a pop. No caution flags. The top 8 advance. There is a consolation, which will be 25 laps. Again, no cautions. And the rest will transfer over. 20 car field. So really we should have 4, I think, transfer from the consolation. And we'll have a field of 20 then for the feature, 120 laps there. So let's run through the field for heat number 1. We've got 14 folks in one, 13 in the other. Adam Bossy is on the front row with Kendall Kerr. We'll get to his paint scheme in a moment. Special tribute tonight. Justin Malarkey in row 3. Chance Duckworth will start in P4. Toby Wedgwood will start 5th. James McKee, last week's winner, starts in 6th. Trevor Hook in 7th. Tony Whittier in 8th. Matt Owens 9th. Caleb Morrissey rounding out the top 10.
And surprise, there's 4 more in this 14-car heat. We got Caleb Morris, just kidding. We got Robert Pullins alongside Andrew Baker, 11th and 12th. Then Andrew Siegel, the last of your actual qualifiers, 9/10 off pole. And Tyler Rush, clearly in no rush to qualify. He didn't set a time at all, and he will start shotgun on the field in this heat.
So, yeah, 50 laps. It's a lot of laps, no cautions, so we could have the potential for absolute track blockers here that really kind of sends everybody scattering throughout the racetrack. You don't have a lot of room here to maneuver when there is a wreck, unless there's a caution. So you got to be careful tiptoeing around the racetrack.
Well, yeah, it's like the fixed ARCA series in official racing, in a way. So if these guys have run a bit of that, they'll know what they're getting into. No cautions, possibly a lot of carnage and chaos and drama. But if you can survive, you'll hopefully make the feature. 8 are going through. That's more than 50%. So if you're one of those bottom 6, you might be feeling pretty bad about yourself, because you got a pretty good shot at getting into the feature here.
Just gotta wait and see. They gotta make one more pace lap before we get this thing underway. And if we have a lot of yellows in the feature, hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to some of the drivers that are out on the racetrack, giving us the entertainment tonight.
Clearly the exclamation point pace laps -1 command not in use tonight as we do the traditional 2 pace laps. Drivers getting very impatient. Good old Andrew Siegel is slip sliding, swerving around all the way down the back straight. He can't wait to get going, and neither can I. Let's get this going.
Bossy and Kerr on the front row. Pace cars in, 50 laps. Barney just gets to take a little bit of a rest up on the flag stand. Green flags in the air. We're underway. Heat number 1 at Bristol. Already making some contact in the back of the field. But we're going to make it at least to turn 1. The leaders are off at 2.
No malarkey from the 2 leaders, and Justin follows them behind. Not a great start from 4th place starter Chance Duckworth. Kind of falling back a little bit, but Duckworth trying to go to the bottom, challenging Malarkey for 3rd. But no, the run's not there. The run is absolutely terrible on the bottom line, and Duckworth is now going to lose a position to James McKee, who moved up to, so we got a spinner. Got trouble.
We got Siegel around. Pullins was wall riding. These guys, oh, trouble! Around goes Duckworth. He saves it. Andrew Baker did a great job avoiding it. These guys slipping and sliding as Kendall Kerr has taken the lead from Bossy. Then it's Malarkey, McKee, Whittier, Hook, Morrissey, Owens, the top 8. They're all kind of together as Hook almost bounces it off the wall. Pressure from Morrissey. That is P6 as the battle. Here's Whittier on the outside of the 9 of James McKee off 2.
Yeah, I think Boss might have a little bit of damage. He hit the wall quite a bit, and that thing looks like it might be in a little bit of trouble. The 57 of Tony Whittier on the attack now, and the 9 of James McKee. They're side by side, so they're kind of canceling each other out, which is good if you're Adam Bossy, but he's got quite a bit of time to keep driving that car, because he got damage on lap 1, and he's going to be struggling with that for potentially, well, not potentially, 45 more laps. We're going the full distance here.
Yeah, and there are no cautions, so unless they wreck, this is what we're going to be looking at the rest of the way. Still side by side for 4th between Whittier and McKee. McKee gives it up, now has pressure from Hook, who went storming up the outside line but couldn't do anything with it. He has to fit back in line behind the 9, and he'll try and regroup and try it again. So Kendall Kerr continues to lead the way. He's got the lap car of Andrew Siegel in his sights, but he's also got Justin Malarkey in the rearview mirror here down the backstretch.
These guys are loving the high line. We're seeing basically the entire... Oh, that's big trouble. Is that Caleb Morrissey? Yes, it was. The number 6 car saved it, but I don't know if there was any damage. Was there any contact there with some of the cars behind? Either way, Morrissey lost about 6 spots there, down to 10th. And that's not a transfer position.
So he got hit by Matt Owens, but it was slight contact. So other than that, I think everybody is okay. McKee trying to work on Whittier again here off 2 down the backstretch. Hook on the outside. And Hook going to take the spot away.
As I was saying before, Caleb Morrissey so rudely interrupted me. The high line is just dominant right now. You saw it with James McKee down there on the bottom. Couldn't go anywhere. He's trying it again, and it's not working out, and now he's got an Andrew Siegel down there to make things even worse for him. But the high line really dominant right now. Everybody's stratified out, single file, except Andrew Siegel, but something tells me we won't be seeing much of him for the rest of the race, unless he gets lapped again.
How about the battle for the lead? Justin Malarkey closing in on Kendall Kerr. It was Malarkey fighting for the lead last week at Las Vegas before he got turned on the last lap. So he's trying to do everything he can to redeem himself here and try and start on pole for the feature race.
He's having a tough old time of it, though, because Kendall Kerr, ever since taking the lead after Bossy hit the wall, just perfect right now. In line, keeping this car rolling in a straight line, in the groove.
Triple back straightaway. Around goes the 9. James McKee got turned around off turn 2, and he goes for a slide, bounces it off the inside wall, does a 360, and gets it going. A little bit of damage to the front end of the 9 of James McKee. He was running in 5th, and it was Hook that got into the back of him off the corner. Back to the battle for the lead, though. In the meantime, Kerr on the outside, Malarkey down low.
Speaking of Kerr not making any mistakes, maybe a little bit of a bobble, because Malarkey suddenly right back up there in the battle for the lead. He tried his best and then got a little bit too high through 1 and 2, so he's fallen back to that dreadfully impossible to bring down 0.3 second gap. He's back in line now, and I'll have to wait to see if Kendall bobbles again to bring Malarkey back into this.
Just gotta wait and see. We're not even halfway home through this first heat, but things have gone all right so far. Only a couple of minor spins. We haven't seen a really big accident up through this point. 20 laps complete as they come across the line. Kendall Kerr leads the way. Justin Malarkey closing in once again. Last time by, he was almost a 10th faster than the race leader.
It's going to be tough to get a large accident with everybody single file right now. Nobody's really close enough to race each other right now. We have a battle for the lead here. Closest battle on track is probably Hook and Whittier battling for 4th, but passing looks like it's coming at a premium here. Here comes Hook down to the bottom for 4th. Is he going to be able to clear Whittier? Maybe. They're side by side. It might be happening.
This kind of looks like everything else that I've seen, that when the sun is up, the outside line is king. Once the lights come on, though, the bottom line kind of picks up and becomes a very, very busy place. We saw it last night in the Four Corner Racing League. As Hook gets into the wall, racing Whittier here. That is 4P number 4. Still side by side to turn number 3. Saw a similar thing in the FTF Cup Series race where the outside line was not the place to be. It started in nighttime, transferred into daytime, and by the end of that race, it was just the outside or nothing. About for the lead again in turn 1, Malarkey to the inside of Kerr.
And absolutely nothing happened again, because Malarkey just cannot get a run down there. Every time he tries, he seems like he's able to make up this gap on track, but when he tries to overtake, he just loses it all, and he has to fight it all back again. He gets back in line. He's going to maybe start thinking about what else he can do here. Can he peek to the outside of Kerr coming into the corner? Probably not. Is he just going to have to send a slider down to the bottom and drive him up the track, put him in the wall to win the heat? Maybe. Is he going to do that for a heat win where he's going to advance whether he's here or 6 spots down? Probably not.
Caleb Morrissey got loose a couple laps ago off too, slapped the inside wall. He just limped it back to pit road. That thing is all torn up. No fast repairs for this race tonight. So he's going to be done for the heat, and he's going to be stuck in the consolation race. Right now, everybody locked in looks like this. It's Kerr, Malarkey, Bossy, Hook, Whittier, Wedgwood, Owens, and Pullins. Pullins has a 2-second lead over Tyler Rush. That is for the 8th spot for the transfer spot. So things looking comfortable in that transfer position. Not comfortable the battle for 4th between Whittier and Hook.
They're switching back and forth here. Whittier just took 4th back from Hook, who took it a couple laps ago. So we'll see if Hook can fight back here. Maybe Whittier's been a little bit nicer on the tires. It's only been 30 laps, so if your tires are going off right now, you might be doing something wrong. Here's the battle for 6th and 7th and 8th. So these are the last 3 spots in the advancement zone. So if these guys come together and they lose a couple spots, they're going to be done here. So they got to be careful here. Don't race each other too hard. You're all safe. You got like 3 seconds to 9th place. So just keep it calm, keep it together, and you'll be fine.
Closing in on 15 laps to go here in Heat 1.
Baker and Rush are absolutely desperate to get into the top 8. If we can take a look back at them, they're fighting with the 2 lapped cars of Siegel and Duckworth. Duckworth is actually not a lap down. Duckworth is the 9th place car, and Chance is trying to chase down P8 at the moment. Not really succeeding yet, but Rush and Baker have been battling tooth and nail for the last couple laps for this 10th spot. Oh, down to the bottom. Oh, that was close. That was very close to the right rear quarter panel of Tyler Rush's car. You don't want to cause an accident for 11th, but Baker is really desperate to get that 10th place spot here. And up front, lap traffic might be playing a role here. Kendall Kerr is about to incur the wrath of those 4 lapped cars, 2 of whom are fighting for position. So it's going to be not so easy to get by him, I don't think. Almost 3 wide in the back there. The number 9, that's James McKee. He's on the lead lap. Tyler Rush is on the lead lap. Andrew Baker's on the lead lap. But the highlighter yellow car you see, that's the 5 of Andrew Siegel. He is not. So he's not fighting for position, but he's fighting for track position. Oh, and he puts Tyler Rush puts him in the wall. I would probably put that on Tyler Rush. They were going 3 wide. And I tell you, that scared Kendall Kerr, who was right behind that, did not get into it. Well done avoiding that, but that must have been terrifying. And in the process, Justin Malarkey is made up about 0.8 of a second. It is definitely a battle for the lead now. Oh, he gets so unbelievably slowed down by the 72, who almost parks it on the apex of the corner. Malarkey got to the bumper of Kerr, but couldn't do anything with it. He didn't push Kerr out of the way. That would have been the only real option there, but they have navigated through the majority of the lap traffic. It was a little bit scary. It was a lot more difficult than Kendall would have wanted it to be, but he got through. Next up on the hit list is the number 2 of Andrew Baker. And pretty easily, Kendall goes down to the bottom and Baker hits the wall for good measure, letting Malarkey through there. And what all this battling is doing, that's allowed the 27 of Adam Bossy to bring it in, half a second behind the 2 leaders. He's been nowhere our pole sitter all day, and suddenly he's back in the fight for the lead. Next up on Kerr's list, Toby Wedgwood, the 52, goes bye-bye on the bottom. Justin Malarkey cutting it a little bit close there, but getting through. Single file for the top 3. We've only got 5 laps to go, so it looks like this will be our finishing order. See if anything changes in these final minute of the race. 4 laps to go. Almost exactly a minute that's going to take. Here we go. Kendall Kerr, Justin Malarkey, Adam Bossy. Looking back in the 8th place transfer position, Matt Owens looks pretty safe, fighting with Trevor Hook, who's actually plummeted. Oh, someone's turned into the wall. Who is that? A 57 of Tony Whittier. That's huge. He was in a transfer spot. He was in 4th place, and Tony is going to fall at least to 9th. He's not going to transfer. He's going to have to go to the consolation race. Crossing the line, 2 laps to go. Malarkey's running out of time here if he wants to win this heat race. Kerr is right behind James McKee, who is the last car in the transfer spot. Malarkey down to the bottom. Kerr trying to go to the high side to get by the 9. 1 lap to go. White flag in the air for heat number 1. Kerr has the outside here, getting by James McKee nice and easy. Malarkey also to the outside of McKee, and yeah, that's the end of it. It's all over. No move for the win. Kendall Kerr wins heat 1. Justin Malarkey P2, and Adam Bossy rounds out the podium, or it's not really a podium, it's just the top 3, and the 8th place spot. He was a lap down, but who cares? James McKee gets that last spot in the feature from this heat. It's Kerr, Malarkey. I just lost the results. Give me a second. It's Bossy, Kerr, Malarkey, Duckworth. This is too confusing. There's too many numbers on my screen, because now we're loading up heat number 2. We got more racing for you right away. 13 cars in this one. I'll take you through the grid when I can, but it was Kerr, Malarkey, Bossy, Pullins, Duckworth. Great comeback. Owens, Hook, and McKee advancing from that race. But for this race, we got the great Alan Kundman on pole alongside Patrick Green. Then it's Scott Wheeler Jr. and Dylan Poteet, Brad Kress, Ryan Potter, Dylan Wedgwood, Tyler Snyder, Austin Bloom, Dylan Beerer, and there's 3 more somewhere around here. Where are they? Scott McCarris, Cody Robinson, and good old Scott Zellner. Didn't set a time in qualifying, and he will start shotgun on the field all alone on the 7th row. We've got 2 pace laps to fill here once again. All alone in the booth for the moment. I gotta find ways to amuse myself here as we crawl around Bristol. Surprising amount of fans in the stands today, I'd say. Great to see all these people showing up. Maybe High Point paid some of them, you never know. But they're all here and they're all ready to see the stars and cars of the Highline Racing League. And the Highline Racing League really living up to its name, I must say, because the Highline at Bristol is absolutely dominant tonight. Maybe as the sun goes down, if it ever does, we might see a little bit more of some bottom line running. There's the track weather on your screen right now. 85 degrees Fahrenheit, pretty warm. Track temp about the same. And the winds basically non-existent. They're going to the southwest. If that matters at all, any meteorologists in the audience? We got a Roker watching. You can tell us what that'll do. The aerodynamics of this car. God, these pace laps are so slow. That's my pet peeve in racing, in iRacing especially. Like, why do we got to do pace laps? That's number 65, Scott McCarris, still in the pits. I'm not sure if he got out of the grid. I think he's starting from the pits. Our 11th place starter, not starting on the grid, he's starting on the pits. Maybe he's hoping to avoid some carnage here on lap 1. Not much carnage in the last race, but it's never too late to change that. Pace car pulls off, green flag is in the air for our pole sitter, Alan Kundman, and we are green, and Patrick Green is on the bottom here. Not the place you want to be necessarily, or is it? Wow, what a run by the 87 of Patrick Green. Great drive down there on the bottom, and he takes the lead from Alan Kundman. Side by side a little bit further back. Scott Wheeler Jr. in the Rubbermaid car down on the bottom. The 33 of Tyler Snyder advancing quite a bit early on in this race. He started 8th, he's already up to 5th. 3 spots advanced already. Little bit of a slide from the gray car back there. That's the number 3 of Dale Austin Bloom Earnhardt Jr. falling back. decent starting position in 9th, down to 11th. It's a lot of racing to go. And for fans of Scott McCarris trying to see how his pit lane starting strategy would work out, he is currently in 13th place, and he's already gone a lap down. So I'm not so sure this one worked out, Scott, but 46 more laps to go. Anything can happen. Your leader is Patrick Green over Alan Kundman. Dylan Poteet. I gotta remember that. He told us how to say it. It's Dylan Poteet in 3rd place. And Ryan Potter, another big mover, 6th to 4th. So the big losers were Scott Wheeler Jr. He started 3rd. He's down to 6th. He's actually down to 8th now. He's losing spots rather quickly. Trying to get back by the 17 of Dylan Wedgwood. Tony Wedgwood didn't advance from the last heat. Dylan Wedgwood trying to do a little bit better for the Wedgwood name. Right now he's in 7th. He started 7th. He's in the transfer spot. He's motoring along pretty well, I'd say. Dalton Beerer gets by the 97 on the bottom. He's up into the transfer spot now. We've got a heck of a race back here. Not much of a race for the lead. The first 7 cars are single file, but these guys really bringing the action back here, Lee Diffie style. Side by side for what is unfortunately not a transfer spot anymore. Scott Wheeler Jr. absolutely plummeting down the order as he navigates through Scott McCarris, who's 1 lap down. Austin Bloom is 9th now, who's also dispatched of Scott Wheeler. I wonder what's going on with Scott Wheeler. Is this a deliberate strategy to plummet his way through the field? Or is he just struggling a little bit on his opening laps? Did he just get a heck of a lap in qualifying and doesn't necessarily reflect his race pace? I'm not sure. He's got quite a bit of racing left to go. I think that's a bit of trouble for Cody Robinson. He's not really in trouble. He's just getting lapped. He had a bad start at the back of the field from the beginning, and the entire field is now getting rid of him, putting him 1 lap down. He'll be in 12th for quite a while here. You know, as we settle into this lead battle here, probably going to be in this formation for a little while. If we can, I'd like to ride on board with Alan Kundman here. He's the 2nd car here. We can see maybe some of the techniques he's using. What's he thinking from inside that cockpit? Because he can see the 87 just running the Kyle Larson line all the way at the top, running the wall, scraping the paint off the wall. And I tell you what, that's a heck of a run from Alan Kundman on the bottom. But can he do anything with it on exit is the real question, and it appears the answer is no. Because he's just getting a big old face full of Voorhees on that bumper. And he can't go anywhere unless he drives through the 87, which would not make him a very popular character, I don't think. And tune back into the battle for the transfer spot. Bloom and Beer. Tell you what, it's heating up. Beer is all over the back of Austin Bloom. 10th to 9th, 9th to 8th, both of them making up spots from Scott Wheeler's unfortunate start to this event. But Beer, he was all over the back of Austin Bloom, and then the second we come back to him, he just plummets back. You're not helping me here, Dalton. Suddenly he's in the clutches of Scott Wheeler Jr., who may be trying to make his way through the field finally. Oh, and Dalton hits the wall. That's definitely going to be Scott Wheeler getting through. Or is it? He's got the outside here. He's got the run, and there he goes. Scott Wheeler Jr. making his march back up through the field. Well done, Scott Wheeler Jr. Battle for the lead still raging on here. Kundman hasn't left Green, or Green hasn't left Kundman. Neither of them have left each other, and Poteet and Potter are still there to pick up the pieces if anything goes wrong. They're stuck together. but nobody's really doing anything, and I don't think they really need to. To the bottom, Alan Kundman, he's gonna lose all those spots now. That was a mistake to go to the bottom, I think, because now the freight train goes by Poteet and Potter up to second and to third, and he's down to fourth. Halfway in heat number 2. The biggest real incident, or the biggest storyline right now, has been Alan Kundman. Started on pole, lost the lead instantly to Patrick Green, and unfortunately down to fourth. But, you know, I don't want to be too hard on him. He thought about making the move. He's got nothing to lose. The top 8 are advancing. If you're first or fourth, who gives a darn? He went for it, and let's give him a round of applause, everybody. All the fans in the stands, round of applause for Alan Kundman losing 3 spots.
Yeah, woohoo! All right, brother. All righty, got a battle for second between Poteet and Ryan Potter. Potter's going to take the spot for now. Thanks for holding down the fort there. One of 2 scenarios. One, either Bristol made me violently ill over the last half hour, or number 2, without knowing it, I ate Taco Bell or something and it didn't sit well with me. I don't know what the hell happened, but nonetheless, we're here, and good grief, we still got 20 laps to go in this heat.
You've missed some action, not a lot of action, but you missed Alan Kundman actually trying to make a move for the lead, which is more than a lot of other drivers in this field have tried to do. And there's been a heck of a battle for this transfer spot. Now Scott Zellner is the driver trying to make up into that 8th position. So 33 playing a little bit of tag with the wall. But Austin Bloom, he's been hanging on to this 8th place spot by the skin of his teeth for the last 20 laps. And now he's got Scott Zellner, whose name I have not said once for this entire race, trying to... Oh, that was close. I thought there was going to be contact there. I thought Scott Zellner was going to put the bumper to him for that transfer spot.
We're good for now, but, you know, we are inside 20 laps to go. Wouldn't surprise me if there was a little bit of bumper tag as things get going, just because... I don't know about you, but I know I wouldn't want to have to go to a consolation race where only 3 people are going to move on. 4 people, whatever. I never claimed I was good at math, and I never will.
Ryan Potter is now the next one who's going to try and make a move on Patrick Green. And who's he got behind him? He's got his hero, his mentor, Alan Kundman. He's going to try and follow in Alan's footsteps, taking an attempt at the lead here. And they've got a lap car in front of him now. That's Dalton Beerer. Hey, he gets out of the way. What a nice guy. What a nice guy. Gets out of the way. Doesn't impede on the leaders. And Ryan Patrick, whatever his name is, Patrick Green holds the lead.
Austin Bloom just got the wall, and that's going to let, everybody on by. So how about this? He hits the wall. He loses 2 spots for the price of 1. Zellner is in. Scott Wheeler in the Kurt Busch car. Oh, my God. The roof numbers are still facing the wrong way. He's in the transfer spot.
Yeah, it looks like it's the number L6 for us.
With an emoji on there. What the heck is that? Is that really a wink? Yep, that's a wink. Sure enough. Alrighty, well, there you have it.
Unfortunately for him, he's in 9th place right now. So, there's quite a gaggle here. The 33, Scott McCarris 2 laps down in that 65. Oh. I think that was a deliberate wall tap. I think he was trying to get out of the way, but maybe I'm giving him too much benefit of the doubt.
He just had nowhere to go, really, and at least he was able to hold it up there for the time being. But now they're passing the other lap car. That's Dalton Beerer here. In the
Ryan
38,
Potter.
working up in front of him, I think. Yeah, Ryan Potter. That was second place. He lost it. He's got right front damage. He got turned by a lapped car. That's Kohnman that made contact off the corner, and Potter went head on into the outside wall in turn one.
We've only got 8 laps to go, so I'm
Potter's
not sure
in
if it's
10th.
replay.
Potter's on the outside, and Wheeler is now the transfer spot. He goes from 2nd to 10th because of the lapped car.
Alan Kunman's not a lap car. He's fighting for 2nd, so I think that was for position. But
he was off the pace.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I wish we could go to a replay. Oh no, we are going to go to a replay. Who cares
Here
about the
is
last
the
7
replay.
laps of the race? Oh my goodness.
Here's the replay. It was a 3-car battle for the lead, maybe. Here we go.
Oh, it's the old Kunman special down at the bottom, and they hit each other on straight.
Potter thought he had enough room, and he didn't. That's on Potter.
And he's going to have to go for the 3.5 transfer spots in the consolation
they're
race
not done wrecking yet, though. Scott Zellner almost got into Wedgwood. We've come to 4 to go here. These guys are not giving up, and these guys are in the show, too. Wedgwood is 6th. And Zellner is currently 7th. The 3 of Bloom is back in this deal. He's right in the tire tracks, and the 97 of Wheeler for the transfer spot.
But can he find a way by is the real question.
Here he comes.
Yeah, he's trying his best here around the outside. He's got the optimal line, but does he have the pace up there? Does he have the speed? He's going to get alongside Wheeler, but Wheeler's hanging tough on the bottom. Oh, he's getting very close to the wall up there.
Depends on the traffic, really, in front of Bloom, if it holds him up or not. Bloom holding on with 2 laps to go. Zellner down there on the bottom. He seems to be slower than the 97. Bloom is in. Wheeler is out. They keep going back and forth. 1 lap to go in heat number 2. This is going to determine who's in. Here's Wheeler. Is he going to try and move Zellner now since he's right in front of him? Last lap, last back straightaway. Zellner on the inside, drives it in deep. Here comes Wheeler up the middle. They're going to be 3 wide for the transfer spot. He is in, and Zellner is out.
If I could clap with one hand, I would. That was incredible from Scott Wheeler. 7th place. He made up 2 spots in 1 corner, and that was remarkable. That was beautiful. Poor old Zellner, though. He had a great start, or he didn't have a great start. He didn't qualify, but he was having a great race there, great underdog performance, and 1 spot out of it.
What a run by Scott Wheeler to thread the needle off the corner and make the big show in the 8th spot. My goodness. All righty, let's go through the best of the rest in the consolation race. Andrew Baker starts on pole, Scott Zellner on the outside. Then it's Toby Wedgwood, Ryan Potter, Tony Whittier, Dalton Beerer, Tyler Rush, Scott McCarris, Andrew Siegel, Cody Robinson, Caleb Morrissey. The field of 11. The top 4 make the big show. No cautions, 25 laps.
So I'm looking down the list here. I'd say, well, Potter's got to be a favorite because he was fighting for the win before he kind of took himself out there. Tony Whittier also had a pretty solid race, even though he fell back after a little bit of an incident. Andrew Baker, of course, he's starting on pole for a reason. Scott Zellner missed it by 1 Scott Wheeler length. Toby Wedgwood, he qualified very well in Heat 1, but he didn't race all that well. We didn't see very much of him, so we'll see if he can hang on here. And, of course, Ryan Potter, last car in the top 4. But I'm going to be interested to see some of the cars that had a little bit of early trouble. Because Caleb Morrissey finished 24 laps down in his heat. Cody Robinson finished 34 laps down. So both of them ran into early trouble, didn't get much of a chance to show their race pace. So hopefully they get a better chance here and they can make their way up through the field. They've got 6 and 7 spots to make up respectively, but anything can happen. A lot more is on the line here.
Alrighty, half a lap to green, 25 laps up on the board to set the stage here for this consolation race. Again, no cautions in this one. So if they die, they die. And speaking of dying, the Philadelphia Phillies, oh my God. Going to lose 2 in a row to the Orioles. Well, they're 4.5 back on the Braves. I hate Philadelphia. Green flag. Here we go.
Good thing I'm in Pittsburgh then. And Scott Zellner. Scott Zellner, great. Big wiggle from Andrew Baker. That's going to stack up the whole field. Dalton Beerer trying to take advantage of some of this misfortune. He's still getting loose. He's still clipping the apron. Oh, he's not done. He's not done. He's going all the way to the back. Goodbye.
Gonna go all the way from the top spot to the back as McCarris is around. He cannot save it. And they almost, hard hit from McCarris. Got the end of the pit wall and got the tires. Here goes Wedgwood. He's sideways. He hangs onto it off turn 4. My gosh, everybody's out of control.
Was there like an oil spill on the track in the middle of these, in the break between the heat and the consolation? There may have been, because people are all over the place, and unfortunately Scott McCarris, he started his heat from the pits, and he's going to end his consolation in the pits. He absolutely ate barrel, and we won't be seeing anything from him for the rest of tonight, unfortunately. Or maybe we will. Maybe everybody else will crash, and he'll have the underdog performance of the century. It's possible.
It's possible. Right now, the battle for the transfer spot lies between Caleb Morrissey and Tyler Rush. That's the battle between the 6 and the 72. A couple of car lengths separate them for the time being. As what in the world happened to Dalton Beerer? Hold on. Dalton Beerer has damage. Dalton Beerer crashed it, and he was in 3rd spot. I don't know how we missed this. Dalton Beerer crashed it coming off 4, had to tow. He's out.
Yeah, the field has like flipped itself on its head. First place is in 8th, 3rd is in 9th, 6th is in 10th, 8th is in 11th. And remember what I said about Caleb Morrissey, about how he has to make up 7 spots? He's in 4th right now, but here's Dalton Beerer.
Yep.
Yeah, just loses it.
Scared me at first. I thought that was live, then I realized it was the replay. But, oh my God, the Phillies just won the ball game in a walk-off. JT Realmuto. Sorry to get distracted. Just happened to have the game cast up, and sure enough, JT hits one into right, back to the wall, doesn't get out of the park, but nonetheless, it scores Harper, it scores Torres. The Phillies aren't going to get swept by the frickin' Baltimore Orioles. Back to the battle for the lead between Potter and Zellner.
I'm just hoping that Potter goes down to the bottom here. Oh, Zellner just jumps down to the bottom. Call that a deep dive into left field, maybe? I don't know. Castellanos, I don't watch baseball. It's the only thing I know. But the 4, doing decently well. He started the outside line on these restarts, or starts, or whatever they are. We've had so many of them, they might as well be restarts. He just had the jump of a century, jumped up into 1st place, and our 1st place starters in 8th. Nowhere to be seen. Scott Zellner's the star of the show.
As that's a line drive hitting to left field, that'll be a home run. Bad joke, I know. Castellanos always seems to find the worst times to hit home runs. But let's see, we're closing in on 10 to go here. And Ryan Potter still in the tire tracks as Zellner. You don't have to race him too hard at this point, but the battle for the transfer is heating up. Here comes Rush. He's rushing to get to 4th.
Heating up, ha, 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 ha. That's what I would say to that. And Tyler Rush. Oh, that was a deep dive right there. It doesn't work out. Tried to get up to 4th place, did not work. I don't know how Caleb Morrissey made up that many spots. I know there was a lot of chaos and a lot of people half spinning and packing up the field, but Caleb Morrissey must have just sliced and diced through everybody, because 7 spots in 1 lap is rather incredible, and he's only got 10 more laps to defend from Tyler Rush, and then he's safe.
Inside 10 to go. Rush just bounced it off the wall, off 2. That's going to help Morrissey out. Remember, Morrissey crashed in his heat. And now here he is on the transfer spot with 8 laps to go.
Bad news for Scott McCarris fans. He was in the pits from the start, and unfortunately he has officially disconnected from the race. So the underdog performance of the century, making up 12 laps. I hate to break it to you, but it's not going to happen.
Everybody's kept it clean as now we are at 6 laps to go. But Potter still trying to work on Zellner here for the race lead. It doesn't really matter, but I guess a spot is a spot. Well, and Potter just bounced it off the wall, so forget I said anything. Let's go back to the transfer battle again between Morrissey and Rush. Oh, Rush
God,
almost turned him.
Oh my
5 laps to go. He just sent it on in there.
And don't think that's going to be the last time he tries that. He's going to be doing everything he can here. I applaud him for trying that. That was incredible. I don't think he slowed down at all. I think he was full throttle through the entirety of the corner there. He's trying it again. Oh, he washes out on exit. He's running out of time though. 3 laps to go.
He's just going to have to send it into 3 on the last lap. He can't do it too early because if he does it too early, there's always the time for payback as he almost hits the wall again. I think that cost him there. 2 to go.
Yeah, I think that might be it for Tyler, but I won't count him out. He's got a decent run here, but he's going to have to do even more of a dive if he wants to make up that time that he lost hitting the wall.
White flag.
I think it's a lost cause, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's more than a half second back. Scott Zellner is going to win the heat. Win the consolation. Here he comes. Potter will finish second. Then it's Whittier and Caleb Morrissey that will make the big show. Everybody else going home empty-handed.
Unfortunate for them, but I got to give a round of applause to Caleb Morrissey. That was just incredible. 11th to 4th. He's going to be starting dead last in the feature, but who cares? He went from 11th to 4th this time. Maybe he'll go from, geez, how many cars do we have? 20? He'll go 20th to 1st. You never know.
Sorry, sitting here watching the Phillies score. Joey, run us through the the running order.
Kendall Kerr is on pole. Patrick Green alongside. Then it's Malarkey, Kundman. You know who all these people are. We've already told you who they are. Adam Bossy, Dylan Poteet every time. I'm so sorry, Dylan. Robert Pullins, Tyler Snyder, Chance Duckworth, Brad Kress. Your top 10. There's 10 more. Jake, can I take you away from the ball game? Take the last 2. You got it?
I'm done celebrating over here. All right. 11th, Matt Owens. 12th is Dylan Wedgwood. Then 13th, Trevor Hook. 14th, Scott Wheeler. 15th, James McKee. You might see the names. Okay, maybe not. 16th is Austin Bloom. 17th, Scott Zellner. Ryan Potter. 18th, Tony Whittier. 19th, Caleb Morrissey rounding out the field of 20. 120 laps are on the board. Cautions do exist for this race.
Oh boy. So the outside line has kind of been the place to be on these starts. So we'll see if Kerr can take advantage of that and fling his way into the lead here.
One lap to green.
Pace lap time.
Yeah. All right. I'm
Do you
curious.
think the fans are watching the Phillies game?
No, I was gonna ask who's your pick to win the race here.
Caleb Morrissey. I'm going last to first.
Just to answer the question about the Phillies, no, nobody's watching the Phillies except for me because they're like 5.5 back on the Braves, even with the win tonight. They don't have a chance in hell, but you know it's still nice to see them not get swept by the worst team in baseball. So Patrick Green and Kendall Kerr will lead us down. 120 laps to go. Green flag. Let's go from Bristol. Really slow start from Patrick Green, back to everybody up big time as the field's off to 1.
I think that was intentional. I think he was making sure Kendall couldn't get that jump to the outside, and it did work out because Patrick hangs on to the lead. I'm eagerly watching the back of the field here. I'm watching my boy Caleb. Can he do anything back there?
Oh, they're gonna wreck! Oh, that's Petit around. Big skip on the back straightaway. Big accident. 5, 6, 7 cars go around. And that started with Tyler Snyder getting into the back of Dylan Petit in the middle 1 and 2. That got him into the wall, and then he got hit again off of 2, and that's what sent him around. And the caution's out on lap 3, really lap 2 of this main event.
They did so well in the heats, and we get to the first lap of the feature, and we get a car park on the front straight. Oh, they were already getting loose in 1 and 2. Bouncing off the wall, and then there goes Poteet, and there goes everybody. And that's the back straight, by the way. That's not the front straight.
Correct. That's Potter going around in the back of the field. Wedgwood got involved in that. Oh, brother. I mean, the 3, Austin Bloom. He's on pit road. He has damage. Brad Kress had nowhere to go. He's that black and orange 29, the Dodge there that you see spinning to the inside wall. The 10 at the last second got clipped. That's Robert Pullins. 6, 7 cars involved in this crash early on. Remember, no fast repairs.
Yeah, but there's going to be a lot of slow repairs, and this is going to start looking like a heat race now, because I think we might only have about 14 cars left.
Competitive, yes. Cody Robinson, who's not even in this race, he was in the last race. He's pulled out. He's left. He's gone home. Everybody else is still running. Duckworth is 1 down. Kress and Bloom are currently 2 down. I have a feeling that might go up here as time goes on, just because they're still all on pit road. James McKee has also just gone to pit road, and he has not been lapped yet, but he might be here. I didn't think he had any damage. He might just be pitting for tires. No, he does have a little bit of damage to it.
Hashtag Caleb Morrissey watch. P12, 8 spots already.
Dylan Petit now also making his way onto pit road.
Look at that. What a beauty. Up 8 spots. The number 6 car against all odds.
So 1 to green. Duckworth and Kress and Bloom are still on pit road. Everybody else is rolling and on the lead lap as the field doubles up here through 1 and 2. We'll get the restart with 6 laps complete. Got to be careful on these heat cycle tires, even though they only made it a lap and a half. You're still going to be slipping and sliding a little bit here on the restart. We saw it before last night in the Four Corner Racing League race where restarts got hectic.
Much bigger jump for Patrick Green that time, much faster, and really caught Kendall Kerr off guard. Now here comes Alan Kundman. Kendall Kerr might be a little bit scared because Alan Kundman, Ryan Potter, they came together in their heat race. Wasn't really Kundman's fault, but just something to think about. 27 of Adam Bossy and Justin Malarkey side by side for 4th place. There's no transfer battles to watch for now. It's all about the lead now. And it belongs to Patrick Green, and just about everybody in the field is already single file. It's remarkable.
Yep. Well, oh man, Kerr got a little sideways off too. That got scary. He's able to survive for the moment though, with Kundman right behind in his tire tracks trying to get by.
Green is trying to run away for the moment. Ooh, somebody was in the wall.
Turn 2.
Somebody was in the wall. Who is that? It's a black car.
Matt Owens in the 12. He was running 9th. And he just got Tyler Snyder. We got beef in turn 4. I mean, he just turned dead right into the door of Matt Owens to bring out the caution flag. Austin Bloom is retired from the race. And I think Tyler Snyder better just hang up the Logitech wheel now. What was that?
I must come to Tyler's defense. He did clip the apron. If we can see a replay, he clipped the apron on the bottom, and he was trying to save it. So I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt here. It looked unfortunate. He kind of overcorrected, but I don't think that was deliberate.
I mean...
Yeah,
yikes.
if we watch here, you can see... Oh, that's a little bit late. No, that's earlier. That's Owens in the wall. He recovers it, and then
into 3.
Yeah, and then watch him. Yeah, he gets loose on entry and then loses it, and then has to save it all the way up the track. So unfortunate, but I wouldn't say malicious.
It's borderline. It's borderline. There's no doubt about it. I mean, yeah, he's sideways getting into the corner. How far you got to go? With a car, you know the car's on the outside. Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But you know something that I do know? Caleb Morrissey's up 9 spots. One more spot made up. Started that restart in 12th, already up to 11th. Now, I don't want to give Caleb all the love. Tony Whittier, yeah, that's an advanced spot because of a little bit of an incident there. Tony Whittier started 19th, made his way in through the consolation as well. He's made up the same amount of spots as Morrissey. So the underdogs from the consolation race, the guys who didn't even win it, are the big movers so far. So I've heard a little story that the 21 might have a special paint scheme. We're gonna be under pace speed here for about 20 more hours. So you want to tell people what's going on with the 21?
Yeah. So the paint scheme on the 21 here is designed by his kid, I believe. Just want to double check on this, but considering I think it does say Garrett on the side of the race car. Yeah, so his son Garrett drew the race car, and Dylan Batty was the one that or Body rather, good grief, I can't read. Dylan Body was the one to put that paint scheme on a body, and sure enough, they put it on the 21 for this week.
See if it gives him anything of an advantage. Can only hope. All those crayon colored cars, we've seen a couple of them in real life. They're usually for like charities, and they usually run into trouble, it seems like.
I was gonna say, I don't think we've ever seen any of them win. I know Carl Edwards has run a few of them, and I think every time he runs it, he's also running into the wall.
Well, actually, I think the Daytona 24 this year, I believe Era Motorsport had a cartoon livery, and I think they might have won, but it was the LMP2 class, so it was a win in quotation marks. But
it's a forgettable win.
Yeah. Well, you can never forget Dwight Merriman. Love that guy.
Who?
Exactly.
Getting ready for the restart. 16 laps will be complete at the green flag. 16 on the lead lap. Matt Owens going to win a lap down. Patrick Green, Kendall Kerr on the restart. Green flag. We're back underway at Bristol.
Kendall Kerr's got to start anticipating these starts a little bit better, because Patrick Green is just playing 4D chess with the field and winning every time. Now Malarkey to the outside of Kundman, up to third. Malarkey's back where he started.
Kundman right on the back bumper of Malarkey coming off the corner, trying to get by him in the HendrickCars.com Dodge. We had this discussion last week. Yeah, okay.
Looks like the only instance of side-by-side racing, it just went away the second I mentioned it. James McKee trying to get by Ryan Potter. Didn't quite work out. Did not work out. He's going to have to stay down there in 12th. He's got quite a bit to go if he wants to win 2 in a row, and he has damage as well.
Yep.
So he's going to be in the wars here.
Yeah, he's going to have a long night ahead of him, as we've got 100 laps to go right now. And he's back in the 12th spot, so he has an eternity to go here at Bristol.
So the top 15, 16, all single file, and then the first battle is here with McKee and Potter. And I tell you what, McKee, he's fighting back. Whatever damage he has on the front, it's not hurting him too much, because he's taking care of Ryan Potter here. He might be able to clear him. Yes, he is, easily. Easily gets by Ryan Potter. Now can he slot back up onto the top, or is he going to keep down here and fight with Whittier? He is going to fight with Whittier, and I tell you what, he's getting quite a run on the bottom as the sun's going down a little bit.
Yeah, the sun almost completely down. Almost 9 o'clock in sim. So, yeah, there you see air temp 85, track temp 89, so almost even. The wind coming out of the southwest at 7 miles an hour. It's still changing as time goes on. So how about the battle for second, Kerr and Malarkey?
I think it just went away the second you mentioned it, but now it's the battle for the lead. A little bit of a wiggle from Patrick Green, and Kerr swerves back up into the way of Malarkey. They're going to stay single file for the moment, but Malarkey, he might be a little bit unhappy with the way Kerr got back in line. Maybe get a little bit aggressive.
Side by side, just behind him as well. Here comes Bossy to the inside of Kundman. That's for P4. This entire field stacking up from Kundman on back.
Scott Wheeler is trying to get by Trevor Hook here. This is for, I was going to say it's for the transfer spot in 8th. It is not. The transfers are over. Hook's down on the bottom, trying to make that bottom line work. It didn't, but he does safely get back onto the top. Oh, Caleb Morrissey, no! No!
Yeah, that's Morrissey into the outside wall. Again, no fast repairs here. So he's going to drop a couple of spots. He's going to fall all the way back to 12th. Try and hang on to the 11th here on the outside of Whittier, and does.
Now Wheeler getting rid of James McKee if he can. No, he can't. McKee's going to get rid of him. Great run on the bottom from James. And there he goes. He's clear. The bottom is working now.
Yeah, and McKee's gone all the way up to 8th. He's good grief. He's past Morrissey. He's gotten by Potter and Whittier and everybody else. So things have kind of broken up in that back of the field. The congestion, for the most part, is gone for now. So Patrick Green continues to lead the way. He's got a 2/10 of a second lead over Kendall Kerr. And Malarkey's in 3rd, Bossy 4th, Kundman in 5th. No real battles on the racetrack right now. Everybody just knows the tail.
And Morrissey didn't lose too much from that little wall ride. Scraped a little bit of the paint off the side of the car and the side of the wall, but only down to 10th.
Got another one on the wall off turn 2. That's the 10 of Pullins. He's doing all right now, but he was up against the outside wall all the way through the corner.
Tell you what, we're starting to see these lines really come in. We've seen the bottom working, but there's people running the middle. There's people running the top. There's people running the bottom. The only person we've seen run the middle was Scott Wheeler when he spectacularly made his way into the feature. But he doesn't really have a chance to go through the middle because there's nobody around him. He's got Morrissey behind, and he's got about 10 car lengths to the front.
Well, we got a stack up here for the lead behind Patrick Green. It's a busy place. Kerr, Malarkey, Bossy, Kundman, Wedgwood, all under a blanket.
And we're reaching the 3rd of the way through the race mark. Still a lot of racing to go. Still many more cautions to come, potentially. But, unfortunately, Jake, there's a couple of flying huskies that are calling my name. So I might have to leave you on your lonesome here.
It's only fair, since I did the same to you unexpectedly, that you now also have to head out in this one. So have fun with wherever in the world you're going, and we'll hold down the fort here from Bristol.
Good luck, Caleb Morrissey.
And then there was one. All righty, so 41 laps are complete. Patrick Green continues to lead the way. The top 7 now really under a blanket, with Hook joining the pack. McKee on the outside looking in. I don't think he's really going to go all that far with the damage he's got on the right front of that race car, but you never know. Then you got Wheeler You got Morrissey, you've got Potter, Zellner, Whittier, Snyder, Pullins, Petit, and then everybody else a lap down or out of the race. Only one out of the race thus far. It's Austin Bloom. Chance Duckworth is taking a nap in his pit box. He's been there for about 14 minutes. He's 40 laps down. Bossy got a little low there off the corner. That may open up the door for Kundman. Instead, he stays in line for the time being. Tyler Snyder is around. Caution flag. And Brad Kress is in the wall. Turn 1. No, it's turn 3. No, it is turn 1. Good Lord. All right. No, that is turn... Nonetheless. That was turn 2 where it started. They were 3 wide. You've got Tyler Snyder in the middle of it. He's on the wall. He comes down into Pullins, who then comes down into Kress, and Kress goes up and hits the outside wall. So a 3-car crash. Oh, and then he gets hit by the 12 of Matt Owens. Here's another angle. Nowhere to go. So this is caution number 3, I think. Patrick Green is going to come onto pit road. Everybody else, for the most part, is going to stay out. We'll step aside. We'll go side by side. You won't miss a thing. We're back right after this.
This is our series,
So many different pieces that you have to watch out for.
where the stakes are always higher,
$300,000.
where virtual meets reality,
How bad do you want it?
They're wasting no time getting at it.
where the best thrive and the flawless win. This is the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series.
This is iRacing, the world's premier online racing game. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat to experience today's newest form of competitive motorsport, virtual racing, all from your home PC. Race virtually in endorsed series from NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, the World of Outlaws, Aussie Supercars and more. Take on legendary circuits like Daytona, Silverstone and the Nürburgring. Join iRacing's global online racing community and get on track today at iRacing.com.
Lights still on the pace car, but they'll be out here in a moment. And so we'll get a restart with a little more than 50 laps complete. Here from Bristol, lights go out now, so we're 1 lap away from the restart. All right, so 5 cars have stayed out. Kerr, Bossy, Wedgwood, Kundman, Hook. Everybody else has pitted at least once at some point tonight. The top 6, including McKee. McKee hasn't pitted since the start of the race. Everybody else just pitted. Green flag, we'll see how this works. Kerr is off to the races. Again, Patrick Green, who was the leader, he came down and pitted. And he is way back there as the field goes through 3. Looks like they're going to make it through 1 lap. And Patrick Green all the way back in 12th. He is way back there. It's man, oh man, Justin Malarkey falling backwards, just stuck on the bottom. He has nowhere to go. Just does not have the speed on those old tires. Here comes McKee to the inside of Kundman. And this is a stack up here. The 73 slips to the outside line. Oh, and Wedgeworth is going to get turned. He hangs on, and there goes Kundman. He collects McKee. Big crash. Malarkey piles it in on the front straightaway, and the caution flag's out again. That was ugly. Replay. It was contact from Kundman, and then Kundman got turned by the 73 of Malarkey and just nowhere to go for a lot of those guys. Another angle. This one a little further back. Leaders are on pit road, so everybody else is pitting. This is going to mean Justin Malarkey, who had a car on his nose, is your race leader. Then you got Whittier in second. Tyler Snyder is in third. Are you kidding me? He's been in every accident so far tonight except for that one. And he's in third spot. Caleb Morrissey is in fourth. Duckworth is a lap down, and then Patrick Green cycles back to P5 after he pitted under that last caution. Two laps away here from halfway here at Bristol. Let's take a look at what's upcoming here on STN, maybe. Hopefully. Do we have a graphic? No graphic. Okay, cool. Let me see if I can remember anything that I said last night. We're back with this next week at a track to be determined. 10 o'clock. Next Thursday, Road to Pro, the final race. That's at Phoenix on Podium 2. And then Four Corners Racing League, we're back October 4th at Talladega. So that is in, well, 2 weeks from yesterday. So that's what's coming up here on STN. And wow. Okay, so 2 weeks then from Thursday, we may see something here on STN as well. Well, okay. Covered by STN, kinda, but it won't be here. We'll have a map and directions for you once we get things settled and know exactly what we're doing. So we'll get a restart here. 61 laps will be complete, so we are officially now past halfway. Justin Malarkey, the race leader. Tony Whittier in second. Tyler Snyder, Caleb Morrissey, Patrick Green, the top five. Green flag. Let's see what happens. Side by side for second. Whittier trying to get that outside line to work. Here comes Snyder on the inside, losing a little bit of time. It's going to put Morrissey in P3. Snyder goes up the hill. Fits in line. Patrick Green trying to get the inside line to work. Remember, he's led the most laps so far, but he's stuck in traffic. As here comes the 97 of Wheeler to the inside. Green's going to shut the door on him. Whoa, there goes Potter up the hill and into the wall off two. Hangs on to it. Gonna lose a couple spots though as a result. Side by side for third. Snyder and trouble in the background. That's Hook that's around. No caution. We stay green. Hallelujah. Battle is for fourth between Zellner and Snyder. Strix Pulsatrix now joins us in the broadcast booth. Take over the second spot.
Yeah, betcha. Oh, we're at Bristol again. Let's go. Okay. I watched Bristol last night, and it was a lot of fun to watch. I got to pop in for the broadcast, so I'm here for Bristol. Last 100 laps of it. This is gonna.
All right, so just looking for something on the racetrack here. It's interesting. Bossy and Kendall Kerr side by side. This is back for P9. Got Wedgwood running the high side as well, trying to get by Bossy down low. You've got Wheeler, who's desperately trying to get by Patrick Green. It's not going to happen, though. You got Potter blinking up high.
This is actually a very tame race that I've come into compared to what I saw yesterday.
You haven't seen anything yet. I guarantee you it has been far from tame.
I was going to say I can almost guarantee that we're going to be seeing as the laps tick down a lot more contact, a lot more close racing and such like that.
We're inside 50 to go. And tell you what, the 97 is just abandoned down on the inside line here with Wheeler. He just doesn't have anywhere to go. That inside line is not his friend. The outside line's still been dominant even after the lights have come on. Still side by side with Kerr up high, where Wheeler almost got into Wedgwood there. They're going to hang on for now. Eesh, barely. Here comes Kerr to the inside. Almost got into Patrick Green, trying to get by Potter here in the 47. Not able to do anything yet. Inside 45 to go. Here from Bristol. Side by side, position number 4 again. That's at position number 5. It's Snyder on the outside with Patrick Green on the inside. The lapped car just up the road. The 12 of Matt Owens, 3 wide off the corner. They make it work. We've seen 3 wide be dangerous here at Bristol between last night and tonight, but looks like they're going to make it work for now.
3 wide is definitely not a ideal situation to find yourself in at Bristol. But both drivers being able to give each other enough distance to make it work, as we see cars going side by side. 2 cars, 3 cars back now.
Yeah, Ryan Potter trying to get by Snyder, and it wound up costing him another spot here. He's going to get passed by Kendall Kerr in the 21. For now, at least. That inside line's been holding together kind of well, but the outside line has just been the dominant spot since the drop of the green flag, even throughout the heats. The outside line has been the place that you want to be as the 33 gets into the wall right in front of Wedgwood. Everybody has to check up. This is where we've seen incidents. They've been able to make it this time. Oh, and Snyder's in the wall again. Look out. We're good. Gonna lose half a dozen spots, but nobody dies in the process, which is really all we care about. So Kendall Kerr slides into the top 5. You got Wedgwood side by side back here with Bossy This is for 8th.
We're seeing a lot of cars here at Bristol running on the high line, trying to get a lot of speed off the corner. But it seems like in this situation, a lot of these cars are just wearing the tires down. Some of these drivers may be going a little bit higher than they want to. But ultimately, you got to be able to manage those tires. And keep in mind that as you drive through Bristol, your tires are going to wear down. You're going to not have a whole lot of grip. So, you know, it's really hard to be able to get your car stuck on the high side like that, keep it off the wall, and then shoot towards the inside to get that run into the straight like you want to.
How about the battle for 2nd? Tony Whittier and Joey's pick, Caleb Morrissey. Here comes Zeldin out to the inside to make it a 3-car battle for 2nd.
Caleb Morrissey trying to make it work on the outside, while right behind him, the number 4 of Scott Zellner is trying to get the pass done, but unfortunately not quite close enough, so he's going to try and charge up. It looks like the car ahead just has enough speed. Oh, a little bit of a run for number 6.
Here comes Morrissey up the inside. Can't clear him off the corner. The top 4 on the oldest tires out of them all. That's why Kerr has caught these guys in a hurry. That 21 just seems to be on rails, and it's because he is on about 10 lap fresher tires compared to the rest of the leaders. Blows by Morrissey into the top 4 now. And now he's going to pull to the inside as Zellner here. And gets that spot. Side by side for 2nd as well. A twofer, a 2-piece. Kendall Kerr, P2, got a 2nd to make up on Malarkey with 29 laps to go.
The 21 looked hooked up on the bottom end of the racetrack there. And as you said, even just 10 laps of tires can mean all the difference as the 57 is in the wall. That's Tony Whittier.
Whittier holding on for the time being. Stuck in P5 right now. Matt Owens has parked the car and done for the night. The lap times between, well, they were even. Kerr is now about a 10.5 faster than Malarkey. So he's closing in a hurry.
The number 9 of James McKee going way down low on the track. Everybody else finding the speed up high, but it seems like he's trying to get a run through the inside of the corner. The 87 doing the same thing to get in front of the 57.
Now, is this going to be the race every week? Driver A chases down Justin Malarkey for the race win? This is 2 weeks in a row now where Justin Malarkey's been out in front and somebody else has had to track them down late in the race to try and take the win away. And kind of like last week, they are flying to close in on Malarkey here. It's not going to be long.
Yeah, Justin Malarkey in that 73, the green and white. Just behind him, the 21 of Kendall Kerr in that yellow car, as we see cars going side by side further back in the pack. 57 seems to be struggling for grip in the middle of the corner, and all the cars around it have to try and negotiate that.
Yeah, he's just falling through the field as the leader's in the wall, and there goes Kerr. New race leader, Kendall Kerr. Justin Malarkey hits the wall and falls back to 2nd, and could be under pressure here from Zellner in a moment for 2nd.
Yeah, while we were taking a look at the racing going...
He's in the wall again!
Ooh, yeah, the tires falling way off that 73 there. As we were in the back of the pack, our producer thought there was going to be a big wreck back there, and as we went back towards that pack of cars, it did look like they were getting a little bit gnarly. Unfortunately, as that happened, we had a lead change, but I feel like it was just about certain, considering the just the massive difference in speed that the 21 has compared to the 73. Look at the gap that's already formed between Kendall Kerr and Justin Malarkey.
Now, the lap times have leveled off between these two. It is possible here, if Kerr makes a mistake or two, or we see another caution, that this race isn't over yet. We're inside 20 laps to go. But I'm not saying this can't be a race yet. Malarkey still has a couple of shots. He may need some assistance from the back half of the field, though.
As you say that, we are watching side by side battle between the 97, the 17, the number, I believe that's the 9 behind, as well as the 8. Going single file now, but these drivers have been racing each other pretty hard. It's getting right down to the wire with 16 to go.
You see the battle between Wedgwood and Kundman. That's for 7th. Really, the only battle on the racetrack right now. That is Morrissey and Patrick Green. That's for P4. That's getting tight.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing a lot of drivers who have saved their tires, saved their equipment, and are now going to use this period in time to try and catch up to the drivers ahead and try and make up as many positions as possible, while other drivers may have been trying to charge away from the field. As the number 6 of Caleb Morrissey is in the wall just a little bit, giving some room to the 87 to catch up.
Oh, and Kundman almost got into the back of Wedgwood coming off the corner. That was close. This battle is tightening up again. Right behind these guys. Lapped car of McKee there as well in the 9. He's just trying to limp it home after getting involved in a couple of accidents late. As we are at 11 laps to go, closing in on 10 to go. So Kundman will take that spot away for the time being. Morrissey bounces it off the wall again in turn 4. Now with 10 laps to go. As Kendall Kerr navigating some lap traffic, but still out in front. And it's easy straight now for the driver of the 21.
Yeah, he was able to create a massive gap between him and Malarkey. And
there goes Green.
9 laps to go. Anything can really happen. It's entirely possible still with 9 laps to go that there could be a caution as the other drivers behind him try and make up position.
Caleb Morrissey going to get passed by not 1 but 2 drivers. Here comes Wheeler to the inside. That is for 5th. He will take it. So move Morrissey back to P6. And it looks like Morrissey's just going to keep falling on back through the field. As Kendall Kerr's coming to 6 laps to go. Here from Bristol.
Malarkey is really pushing that car as hard as it'll go, but I don't think you're going to get much time out of that anymore. The car sliding up towards the wall through turns 1 and 2. Unfortunately, time is practically run out at this point. The only thing that Malarkey can hope for is a caution here.
And everybody, for the most part, is pretty evenly spaced out. You got a couple of battles here and there, but they've been clean up through this point here with Bossy, Potter, and Petit that you're watching right here. This is 9th, 10th, and 11th. Coming to 3 laps to go for the race leader.
If Malarkey has any hope of getting another shot at taking that lead back, he's going to want somebody in the back of the pack to wreck here. But it looks like everybody's got everything under control and is just fighting each other hard but clean to try and finish this race.
2 to go. This time by, it'll be the white flag. And it looks like we've got cars in the wall off turn 2. They hang on. White flag. 1 lap to go for Kendall Kerr. Special paint scheme driven by Kendall's son, and Kendall is going to go to victory lane tonight. Kendall Kerr wins race number 2. He wins at Bristol.
That is a fantastic job from Kendall Kerr to be able to save those tires and then be able to use them all up towards the late part of that run and pass Justin Malarkey with a lot of time to spare. Fantastic strategy from him. And Malarkey, for his part, held on as long as he could with those tires, but unfortunately for him, and very fortunately for Kendall, he just had those new tires, saved them up, and was able to keep that car straight and on the straight and narrow to take the win today.
So that's the race. Let's go through our results for tonight. Kendall Kerr, the race winner. Justin Malarkey in second. Scott Zellner finishes in third. Patrick Green finishes fourth. Scott Wheeler in fifth. Caleb Morrissey sixth. Alan Kundman eighth. Dylan Wedgwood in ninth. Ryan Potter in ninth. Apparently I screwed up a number in there. Dylan Petit rounds out the top 10.
Tyler Snyder finishes in 11th with Adam Boss finishing right behind him in 12th. The 84 of Trevor Hoke finishing in 13th. Robert Pullins in the number 10 finishing 14th. James McKee finishing 15th in the 9 car. In the 57 car is Tony Whittier finishing behind him in position 16. 17th, Brad Kress. In 18th, Matt Owens. Chat Duckworth in 19th. And of course, rounding out the back end, making it only 1 lap, is Austin Bloom in the 3 car.
Let's talk to our top 3 if we can. Waiting. Let's go to a break. We'll be back right after this.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back here to Bristol. Let's talk to our top 3, and we'll start with our race winner tonight, Kendall Kerr. Driver of the 21. Kendall, a special paint scheme on the car tonight, able to bring it home to victory lane.
Yeah, I can't believe it. It's crazy how these things work out. first league race win I ever had was in the 87 car at Martinsville, and I wouldn't have called that one of my best tracks. And this is only my second ever league race win. So, and I would not call Bristol my best track. It's just one of those deals where we had great starting position from a good qualifying run, and running good in the heats, and just kind of tried to maintain all night and get in a groove.
Well, nonetheless, congratulations on the race win. Obviously, pit strategy kind of helped you there. You waited till the last caution to make a pit stop. I'm sure you may not have thought that would have been the last pit stop, but nonetheless, things played out. Come away with the win tonight.
I really thought that it was going to backfire, to be honest with you. I wanted to pit when Patrick pit, but the pace car caught us so late that he ended up getting a black flag for it, and that's the only reason I stayed out, was because we had such little amount of time to commit down pit road. But sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and I just can't thank everybody that's made this whole deal possible. You know, Toby for setting up the league. I can't thank Dylan Body for painting this paint scheme enough. Of course, my 5-year-old son, Garrett, I know he drew this thing up, and it's pretty special to get my first win, and then this car right here.
Well, congratulations on the win. Of course, we'll see you next week at a track to be named an hour before the race.
Yeah, got to keep everybody on their toes. We appreciate everything you guys do too. I forgot to thank you guys. Y'all do a tremendous job in the booth. Been there myself, and it's a hard job. So great job.
Race winner.
Hey, and I got to thank the Ready Foundation. They've been a longtime sponsor of me as well, and Brawley Jackson Real Estate. And make sure you guys go buy the dip on Ethereum as well.
Race winner. Oh, gosh, I can't even speak now. Race winner. Kendall Kerr tonight from Bristol. All right, second place. There was a point where I thought this was just going to be the league where a driver chases you down in the last 30 laps for the race win. This is 2 in a row now where you've had somebody in hot pursuit closing into the checkered flag. Take us through tonight, because you got damage early on in this thing.
Hey, I got I think damage around lap 55. I was sitting here watching it. Yeah, that pretty much 17 and 8 got together, checked up. I was afraid to get run over from behind. I was out of the gas, but there's just nowhere to go. We kind of made contact. I mean, it was the same exact thing that happened last year at Nashville, except for I was in the front. I checked up a little bit and I got turned. It's just a product of short track racing. It sucked, but yeah, other than that, the car was really good. 21 ran me down there, which was good. Good win for him. But it was a fun night.
Well, congratulations on the second place finish. And, of course, maybe we'll see you in Victory Lane next week, depending on the track that we're at. And, of course, we'll see you again next week.
Yeah, it's fun with the Russian roulette of tracks. It is pretty interesting around 9:30, finding out where you're going for the night.
Justin Malarkey, second place finisher tonight from Bristol. And finally, Scott Zillner, who, man, now that I think about it, there was a point where you thought you were out of the show. You missed the heat on a last lap pass, or missed out on the transfer spot in the heat on a last lap pass, came back and made it in through the consolation race. You wind up P3. How about it?
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have thought that was going to be our result tonight. And to be honest with you, I lost the transfer spot to a teammate. I'm on the same team as Scott Wheeler, so we had a couple words after, but we're all good.
A great night for you nonetheless, able to navigate your way through the chaos. With tire strategy, you were one of the guys that pitted earlier, but you were able to make those tires last longer than Kerr, who had fresher tires.
Yeah, actually at the end of the race there, I was at 46% on the right front, so I was barely limping it around that racetrack for the final 5 or 6 laps. But you know what? It was just enough to hold them off and get the podium.
Well, congratulations on the third place finish, and we'll see you next week at wherever in the world we wind up.
Yeah, guys, I'll see you next week, and wanted to shout out all my family back home watching.
Scott Zellner, P3 tonight from Bristol. I know you weren't here for half the race, but final thoughts here, Strix.
Well, learning that this league runs on on a very strange Russian roulette sort of setup. I really appreciate that kind of not necessarily risk, but that kind of like new idea to sort of reinvigorate oval racing for a lot of people who've been doing it for so long. And Bristol's always a really fun track to watch. You see a lot of people taking different lines, battling each other really hard, and it's very rarely that you see a car pop out without any damage. So for me personally, watching even just the back half of that race, it was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun tonight, and of course we'll be at some form of a racetrack this time next week. For Joey Tebben and Strix Pulse of Tricks, I'm Jacob Pitts, and our producer Zach Johnson. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week for this again. It'll be a while. We got a nice week off, but till then, thanks for watching. Good night.